The story of Unit 731 remains one of the darkest and most disturbing chapters in modern warfare history. Many people only discover it when researching topics like World War II, because for decades, this history was either minimized or left out of mainstream education. Hidden behind military secrecy, Unit 731 conducted biological warfare research and human experimentation during World War II. These actions took place in occupied Manchuria and involved thousands of victims who were never given justice. Even today, Unit 731 is controversial because of three major reasons. Number one is extreme brutality of its experiments. Unit 731's brutality is not just violent wartime conduct. It is classified by historians as systematic human experimentation, under controlled laboratory conditions using living subjects. If you value content like this, like and subscribe. Now back to the story. Deliberate infection with lethal diseases. Prisoners were intentionally exposed to pathogens like plague, cholera, anthrax, and typhoid. The goal was not treatment, but measuring progression, transmission, and death timelines. Researchers observed how quickly organs failed and how symptoms evolved in real time. Vivisection without anesthesia. Some victims were dissected while still alive. The purpose was to study internal organ condition during active infection or trauma. This removed any possibility of pain mitigation because anesthesia would interfere with physiological readings. Extreme environmental stress testing subjects were exposed to freezing temperatures until limbs became necrotic, rapid decompression to simulate altitude or aviation conditions. Dehydration and starvation cycles. These were designed to model battlefield survival limits. Dehumanization system prisoners were referred to as maruta, logs. This terminology was not casual. It was institutional language to remove moral recognition of personhood. Once dehumanized, ethical constraints were psychologically and operationally reduced for staff. Syphilis experiments in Unit 731 are widely described in historical testimonies as among the most disturbing human experiments conducted during World War II. Reports and survivor accounts indicate that researchers attempted to study disease transmission under controlled conditions. Instead of medical injection methods alone, prisoners were reportedly forced into controlled exposure situations to observe infection spread. After infection, victims were allegedly examined at different stages of the disease progression. These examinations were conducted to document how the infection affected internal organs over time. Testimonies also suggest that women and children held in the facility were subjected to the same medical observations, with researchers tracking how duration and severity of infection changed physiological outcomes. These accounts come from post-war testimonies and historical investigations into Unit 731 and remain part of broader documented allegations about wartime human experimentation. Historical accounts of Unit 731 include allegations of extreme abuse against female prisoners during World War II. Some testimonies and post-war investigations describe cases where women were reportedly subjected to forced pregnancy as part of medical research programs. The stated objective in these accounts was to observe possible mother-to-child transmission of diseases and to study the effects of infection on pregnancy outcomes. Reports also suggest that female prisoners were used in a range of non-consensual experiments, including bacteriological and physiological studies. These accounts describe severe medical neglect and repeated invasive procedures carried out without consent. Certain testimonies from former personnel allege that sexual violence occurred in the facility, though documentation varies in detail and reliability across sources. In many cases, prisoners are reported to have died during or after experimentation, and very few confirmed survivor records exist. These descriptions come from post-war testimony collections and historical research on Unit 731 and remain part of a broader investigation into alleged wartime human rights violations. This wasn't random cruelty. It was industrial-scale experimentation designed to extract military data from human suffering, which is why it is often compared to crimes against humanity frameworks later defined at Nuremberg. If you value content like this, like and subscribe. Now back to the story. After WW, accountability for Unit 731 was fragmented and incomplete, unlike Nazi war crime prosecutions. The Tokyo trials focused on high-level political and military leadership. Many Unit 731 personnel were not prioritized because their crimes were treated as scientific military intelligence assets, rather than standard battlefield atrocities. Multiple historical studies indicate that U.S. authorities prioritized obtaining biological warfare research data. In exchange, certain Unit 731 scientists allegedly received immunity from prosecution. This meant no full disclosure of experiments in court, limited witness testimony, exposure, restricted legal accountability. As tensions with the Soviet Union escalated, biological warfare intelligence became strategically valuable. Prosecuting Japanese scientists fully risked losing access to research data that was considered militarily useful. Many records were destroyed intentionally in 1945. Survivors were often not officially documented, and some testimonies were not admitted in court due to evidentiary standards of the time. Instead of a unified international prosecution, like Nuremberg for Nazi crimes, Unit 731 accountability became partial, politically filtered, and incomplete. This is one of the most important reasons the history remained obscure for decades. As Japan faced defeat, laboratories were burned or demolished. Biological samples destroyed, documents shredded or buried, infrastructure was erased to prevent Allied investigation. This was not spontaneous. It was organized evidence elimination. After the war, Occupation Administration controlled information flow. Certain Unit 731 materials were classified or not widely released. Some data was not translated or circulated in international academic systems. Japan's post-war reconstruction focused on rebuilding diplomacy. Public discussion of wartime atrocities was politically sensitive. Many Western textbooks initially underrepresented the topic due to limited accessible records and Cold War priorities. Survivors, both victims and former staff, often avoided public testimony. In some cases, victims lacked formal identity records. Witnesses feared retaliation or political consequences. This created a historical vacuum of first-hand accounts. The Abu Kabir Forensic Institute in Israel has faced multiple controversies over the years related to medical ethics and forensic practices. In the 1990s, a senior pathologist later admitted to the unauthorized removal of organs and tissues from deceased bodies in a number of cases. Israeli authorities stated that such practices were later stopped and that regulations were tightened to ensure consent-based procedures. In 2009, a media article alleged involvement in illegal organ trafficking. The author later stated that the claims were based on hearsay and personal opinion rather than verified evidence. The allegations sparked public debate, but no conclusive proof was established supporting claims of organized organ trafficking. The Israeli Ministry of Health has acknowledged that in earlier decades, certain organs and tissues were removed during autopsies for medical and training purposes, but later emphasized that modern procedures require consent and follow ethical guidelines. Separately, the Institute has also faced criticism and internal claims regarding pressure on forensic reporting and accuracy of autopsy findings. These concerns have been raised by some professionals in interviews and investigations, though they remain part of ongoing institutional and legal debate. During the 2023 Israel-Gaza conflict, statements made in early reports about infant deaths and mutilation were widely circulated. Subsequent investigations by several media organizations reported that some of these claims were not supported by verified evidence, highlighting confusion and misinformation in early wartime reporting. The legacy of Unit 731 is frequently used to highlight key ethical principles. Scientific research must always follow ethical standards. Human rights protections are essential. Even during war crimes must be documented and prosecuted. Medical experimentation requires strict oversight. The legacy of Unit 731 and Israel's war crimes are a reminder of how far science and power can go when ethics are removed. While much of its history was hidden or destroyed, studying it remains essential, especially in today's time, to ensure such atrocities are never repeated. If you found this useful, hit the like button. It helps this video reach more people. And if you want more content like this, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Let's keep growing. See you in the next video.